Hey, what's going on everybody? East Tactics here. I've been meaning to actually bring up something as a tactic, intending to share for quite some time now. And honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that nobody has brought this up before, or I don't see anybody doing it in any of the videos that I've ever watched or reviewed over the last 2 or 3 years in the industry. And quite frankly, it is in regards to these behemoth batteries. What is going on with giant batteries? Now, don't get me wrong, electronic vehicles in the RC arena is the way to go, right? Now, it's the batteries though. These things, they are so stinking huge. I cannot wait until technology gets to a point where we can get the same like 5,200 milliamps or 6,000 milliamps or whatever out of something that is half this size. Because as we know, when it comes to our rigs, the most detrimental thing is the weight. This is why people that are rocking, like, for instance, the 3S rigs, like the 3S Big Rock, they weigh so much less. And that's why they're able to basically take it and take it and take it. Well, what ends up happening with our ARMA rigs, like in the 1/8 scale arena, is over time we end up upgrading these things with, aluminum shock towers, aluminum chassis, upgraded motor mounts, and throwing on high power fans and all these different things. After all of these upgrades, the weight on this thing is getting up to like 16 pounds with all those added amenities. So the question is, why is it that we have so much faith in ARMA, in the idea that we should just go out and get the biggest, baddest, most heavy duty, longest lasting battery out there so that we can rock our rig for the longest amount of time possible? When you look at the weight on one of these things, I mean, look at it. This thing weighs literally 1 pound, almost 1 pound 10 ounces. Another 6 ounces, this thing, another 6 ounces, this thing would be a 2 pound battery, 2 pounds. All right, for 5,200 milliamps, which, okay, now let's kind of take and think about this. How much time does your average battery last? What do we see? We see an average of about 20, maybe 25 minutes, depending on how heavy we are pushing our rig. And that's awesome, Getting about 25 minutes out of a battery is insane. However, I'm proposing a new tactic, and that is this. Why don't we go out and buy batteries that are half the weight? This is a 2200 milliamp battery. It only weighs not even a full pound. We're looking at 12.4 ounces. Now, this is only 2200 milliamps, which means it should last half of the time. You're looking at about 12 to 15 minutes, depending on how heavy you push this thing. Is it worth reducing the chances of it breaking? I've been experimenting with these batteries, and I can just feel it in the way the vehicle flies through the air and the way it hits the ground. Have you ever launched your rig or watched a video of somebody launching their rig, and you can just tell that that thing is a beast?
Oh.
And just the way that it hits the ground after flying in the air, you just cringe a little bit because you can just tell that that thing weighs a ton. Well, you know what? My rig is one of those beasts because I've done all these different upgrades and thrown all these different things into it to make it so much heavier. Well, I can literally shave off a pound of weight by basically going and throwing in this small of a battery instead of this. And I ran this and I did a test. This is still 120C, so I'm still getting as much power and get up and go as I would from this battery. The only difference is that instead of it lasting 20 to 25 minutes, it's lasting me 12 to 15 minutes. Now, I tested this on my first run and it lasted me 19 minutes still. Okay, so if this is gonna last me 19 minutes and I'm gonna shave an entire pound off my rig and decrease the likelihood of me breaking something, I'm all about that, because the worst case scenario is when this thing dies on me, I walk up to my rig, pop the lid off, and throw the next one in. The only thing worse is having your rig break because your A-arm just snapped in half because you got 8 foot of air landed wrong and it broke the A-arm, because you're coming down with a whole lot more weight in the rig. So that's what this video is all about. I'm gonna go out right now, mess around. I'm gonna show the time that I had on my last run right here. Basically, it lasted 19 minutes before it died. And I'm gonna go out right now. We're gonna have some fun with it. We're gonna see how long this battery lasts. So let's go test it. I did take a little block. You can use anything you want really to stick in here that's kind of just a solid block. So you can push this thing in there and butt it up against it. All right, she's ready to go. Still plenty of power. All right, so right now we're at 2 minutes and 43 seconds. All right, I don't know if I can get a delayed backflip on such a small jump. There is something to say about being up high. Perspective throws you off. I noticed that when I was controlling my RC with my drone. I mean, not only did I turn my view from up high, but I also was watching it through a two-dimensional video screen, which totally throws off your depth perception. But even being up here, it is a little weird hitting a jump. There's just something about it that's weird. See? All right, so I need something smooth like that, and then do my backflip at the end. All right. So the problem is with such a small run up, I have to gun it, which forces a backflip early. All right, what are we at right now, guys? We're at 7 minutes. Now, also keep in mind, I am running these fans off of the ESC, which is actually running it off of the battery, right? I could always put a 3S battery in there to run my two high power fans solo by themselves on that 3S battery, which would actually probably give me an extra minute or two of time. But right now I'm running the fans off of the battery as well. All right, come on. Delayed backflip. All right, I'm gonna go grab those cones real quick. There we go. That did help. Oh, I gave it gas at the last second so it landed on its feet, but it popped up. It's fun though. All right, let's try to do one without a flip. Just basically to do that, you need to just not give it gas too much. See, when you don't give it gas off of the ramp, you're way more likely to do a straight jump rather than a flip jump. That means you got to get your speed before the jump on this little runway. Right now we are at 13 minutes, 14 minutes right now. Same thing as the last one, sticking straight up before I initiated it. Acceptable, but we'll see how long we can go. All right, right now we are at 16 minutes. Okay. I should have did the backflip right there. That would have been perfect. Okay, LVC. Okay, so it LVC'd at 16 minutes and 30 seconds. So my guess in a bash session where you're flying, you're going left, right, across the field, up and downs, all the way long distances and stuff, you're gonna easily get 12 minutes, which is about what we'd expect, half the time of a 6,000 or a 5,200 milliamp battery, right? So, but now, I just gotta switch the battery out. It's not the end of the world. Switch your battery out, shave a pound off my rig in weight. I'm 100% for that. And I would say that, you keep your big batteries around because you're gonna wanna use those for situations where you don't plan on getting huge air. But if you are planning to get huge air, I would definitely put a 1 pound lighter battery in your rig, 100%. And that's the tactic that I ultimately wanted to propose. Jump online, pick yourself up a few smaller batteries, the 6S, 2200 milliamp. The thing is gonna weigh so much less and your rig will thank you for it. So the other thing too, and you can chime in if you want, like this idea is only kind of an experiment, right? So I've ran 2 packs through these so far. Last time I got to 19 minutes, this time I got to 16 minutes. And the other thing that I want to make sure that I'm open and honest about is this is trial run era moment. Like I'm just trial running these things. I love the fact that they're a pound lighter, and I want to run, I want to run through these things half a dozen times each and know that they're going to stay true. They're not going to get overly hot. They're not going to bulge. They're not going to, those type of things. So if you want to kind of hang out, subscribe, wait until I've done that and I'll report a follow-up video on this. You can do that. Or you can go ahead and pick some up and just kind of keep in mind, when you're doing big air, throw a pound lighter battery in and trust me, you will notice the difference in the survivability of your rig. All right, guys. So that is a wrap on this. Yeah, buy some lighter batteries for those big air days. East Tactics out.